the same weight as them as well too. So
okay, one more event to go. We have our last event of the day, the A final in the lightweight women's single. So first in lane 1, we have the athlete from Delta D's, Sierra Stevenson. In lane 2, we have the athlete from the University of Victoria, Charisse Faubert. In lane 3, we have our recently qualified Paris 2024 Olympian from Rowe, Ontario, Jill Moffatt. In lane 4, we have the Alberta Rowing Association's Carissa Riley. In lane 5, we have the University of Victoria's Sofia Ragosa. And in lane 6, the University of Victoria's Elena Mesite. Now, I believe we have a heavy favorite in this one, Andrea.
Well, I mean, Jill Moffatt has been on fire all season, and she's certainly been unbeatable and unstoppable with Jenny Cassens as her partner. They won Henley Royal, and they qualified for the Paris Olympics, finishing 4th at the World Championship, heart-stoppingly. Of course, we were just earlier talking about all of our 4th-place finishes, never where you want to be, but they had a fantastic race, and I can't wait for them to set the world on fire next year at Paris.
You know, it's a great place to finish at if you're the year out for the Olympics, because you get to be the hungriest athlete just on the outside of those podium, looking to break in and find a medal in Paris.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, my last World Championships before Olympic gold was also a 4th, so I would retweet that.
Perhaps a good omen there, Andrea. Now, if I remember to last year, Andrea, when we commentated this race, this may have been one of the races of the day, but for a different reason than having competitive racing side by side, because I believe Jill shot out and never looked back.
Yeah, I'm going to be bold here and expect that it's going to be a race for silver and bronze, but anything can happen in these races. Every single one of us here has caught a crab or had a side wind or just looked for more and not been able to find it. So really, the only thing that matters is the next 6 minutes.
And we have to think, too, these athletes are always going for their best time. So Jill would have had her teammate and boatmate in the heavyweight women's single final. And there they are, off high rate of stroking. You can see especially there Jill in lane 3, well over 40 strokes a minute, getting away quite clean, taking advantage of that flat water out of the start gates. So there we have it, 7:03 in the late men's single. Taylor, that's not a bad time.
Just about comparable with the heavy men's single, that's right.
And then the athlete Giancarlo Dimpampeo from Rowing, British Columbia in 2nd, and Charles Etienne Tebet from Quebec in 3rd.
Great to see so many U23s in the A final, too. Love that.
Absolutely. So there will have been under 23 medals to play for in that final as well.
Coming back to the lightweight women's single A final, we'll get a chance here to get a sense for the race. These athletes are right in that first minute. What goes through your mind, Andrew, in the first minute of a single final?
Oh, great question. I think I always love to try and get out in front and just control if I possibly could. Of course, sometimes it doesn't go according to plan. So I think the most important part of the first minute is the shift. And what I mean by that is when you go out at a high rate of striking off the blocks, then shifting onto your race pace. That's where a lot of athletes, if you don't do it the right way, can lose quite a lot of speed on the boat, I think. So shifting onto race pace and then really just locking in and understanding you're going to be in a bit of pain for the next little 7-8 minutes. This is a pain sport, and we'll see the close margins here and on the world stage, people winning and losing by thousandths of a second, hundredths of a second. You have to really just sit in it and believe that you can take one stroke more than your competitors.
Yeah, it looked like there earlier that we were seeing Carissa Riley, the athlete from Alberta, putting pressure on Jill. That's great to see.
Oh, I got to tell you a story about Carissa Riley. Sorry to jump over you here, Taylor, but I got to watch Carissa Riley front and center as I commentated at the U23 World Champions. And in the last, I'd say about 300 meters right before the red buoy, she caught a boat-stopping crab right in front of me. And I thought that was it. A lesser athlete would have finished outside of the medals, and she just showed her grit and determination and clawed her way back to a heartbeat of a third place. So getting that bronze medal, it really did show that she's made of stuff of champions, and it was such a pleasure to watch. We all love watching grit, don't we?
Absolutely, and you see that play out in almost every single rowing race that has come down here today, just with so much on the line. But, some of these athletes, you'll see them walking around the boat park, and they're absolutely pleasant. They've got smiles on their faces, but you get these athletes into a boat, and the animal comes out of them. The monster comes out of them. And, of course, that grit and determination is really going to show itself forth, especially in moments where you know that you can accomplish something special.
So in the distance there, you can see Jill Moffatt has done as we predicted, pushed out to that bit of a lead. Great rate of striking there. Looks like something in the mid-30s. Nice and clean rowing there. Andrew, what are you seeing from Jill?
I think that she's doing a great job of the layback. I really love that she's bringing the handles all the way to her finish. As we squint here, as predicted, in a bit of a different time zone, you want to make sure that you finish those strokes off well and still have connection to your foot plate. But also worth mentioning, now that we've gotten to the last race of the day, about what these athletes are wearing here, all their different pieces of kit. Maybe, Max, you can take us through that.
That's a lot. We have the athletes racing in their unisuits that would show their club colors. We have on the screen here. That's the yellow and green of Delta D's. Actually, my hometown of Delta, the Ladner there, the Delta Rowing Club. This athlete is coached by a former teammate of mine, Mark Henry. So Sierra there is doing a great job. Made it into the A final here in the women's lightweight single at our national championships.
Look at the length that Jill is getting. She's compressing very well, really swinging her body and trying to make sure that those blades are placed in the water. The reason why we talk about most rowers being tall is because the arms are a bit of an extension of our oars, and just like if you're taking if you're running, your stride length determines how fast your boat is going. So by placing your blade as long as you possibly can, or having long levers to assist in that means that how far you can propel the boat in one stroke increases.
Absolutely. So, of course, these athletes are going to be looking to maximize the three things that move a boat fast. You have the number of strokes that you do per minute, the length per stroke, and how hard you're pulling. And in a situation like this, you want to do two of them very, very well, and you might not need as much as the other one. But in racing, you definitely want to be optimizing those three. So Jill Moffatt plowing a lone furrow out in front here. This is incredible racing. This is absolute textbook masterclass lightweight racing.
Well, and when you're out this far in front, you have two decisions. You can either take it down to a comfortable rate and just be keen to tap it along. But knowing Jill as well as I do, I don't think that she will be settling anytime soon. I think that she will be keeping the jet engines on.
That's right. Jill will absolutely take this right to the line. So the bulk of the field here coming through the 1,250 meter mark, 750 meters to go. Definitely medals to still play for.
You know what I think that Jill is racing for? I think she's racing for that top time. And so I just quickly went back in the results, and we had 7:31 and 7:32 between Jill, Carling Zeman and Jenny Castens, her teammate from the lightweight women's double. And I'm sure Jill has got that in the back of her mind that she wants to see if she can find that top time of the day in the women's single.
Absolutely, because bragging rights, of course, are the most important thing at a championship such as this for top time.
So worth noting for those of you watching at home is that athletes know how fast they're going by a small device that's just at their feet. Perhaps we'll see it there. Yes, you can. So you can see that small device there with a little yellow bumper on it, and that's called a stroke coach. The stroke coach tells us how many strokes we're taking per minute, tells us how fast we're going, also tells us our total time. And while I'm sure that she doesn't know what the time was of her teammate, I know that she's probably trying to get through this race as fast as she possibly can to make a statement. Great shot there out of lane 2. Well, that is Charisse Faubert. She was second in the lightweight women's single at the CUR champs.
Yeah, great rowing. Really smooth rowing. Nice smooth strokes. As we pan back here to Jill Moffatt, again, relentless. That's a great word to describe Jill Moffatt. Unbelievable rhythm here. I don't think her rate has dipped at all over the race course. In fact, I bet you she's lifted it up now as we're getting into those red buoys. I'm looking for that top time. Are we going to get it, Taylor?
I think it's absolutely going to be very close. So it was 7 minutes and
31 seconds.
31 seconds. I think Jill could be going, I'm going to say probably around 7:15 or 7:20, which is very, very fast. And if anybody could do it, Jill definitely can.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the corner in the top right hand as she's well into the buoys as the rest of the team joins in. So the question will be, who's going to secure that silver and bronze medal spot?
Absolutely. Great shot here, overhead shot of Jill. Doesn't this make rowing just looking at the most beautiful sport? The water, the waves, everything.
Looks so easy, Jill. You're making it look so easy. And here she comes, last few strokes, keeping that rate up, pushing through. Keep your eye on the time because she's through. Bragging rights to you, Jill. Well done. Coming underneath that time of 7:32 set by her teammate. And we will keep our eye on the finish line. Hard to tell who's going to be coming third here. But second, I believe
That's
that was
Carissa.
Carissa.
Fantastic racing from Carissa there, the athlete from Alberta Rowing.
Yeah, great racing, Carissa. An amazing athlete, U23 athlete that I'm expecting some pretty fantastic things. And then back quite a bit to the next athlete, but we'll take a look. We're riding right now with Sierra Stevenson. But it looked almost like
Charisse
Charisse
Faubert
through for the bronze. Well done to all of our athletes here.
Wow.
We have...
Let's make a quick comment on these conditions. We have a nice little tailwind behind us, but Taylor, you just did a quick little search for me. What is the world's best time in the light women's single?
So the world's best time is around about 7 minutes and 17 seconds, which was set by Zoe McBride in 2015, I believe. And unofficially, it looks like Jill finished that race in 7 minutes and 24 seconds.
So we'll be looking to see for that confirmation of final times, but fantastic racing from our athlete, the lightweight athlete from Rowe, Ontario, Jill Moffatt.
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you have to say about your former teammate?
My mouth is agape. I mean, I always knew that Jill and Jenny are fantastic athletes, and they've just let their blades do the talking again. Amazing. All I have to say is Paris 2024, watch out. Canada is coming to play.